What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you all to do something. I really want everyone to participate. If you think silver's price should be a lot higher than it is now, then hit the like button. Now, I also need you to do something else. I need you to tell me in the comment section what you think silver's price should be right now, realistically. See, we all know that silver's price is being influenced, manipulated to some degree. Now, how big of an impact does this have? I don't know. You don't know. It's impossible to tell. We can kick, scream, whine, complain all we want, or we can adjust and adapt accordingly. Now, this article, this video is going to talk about silver price manipulation factor fantasy. Now, it's not going off the idea that it might be a myth. We're looking at how it's happening, to what degree, and also will this ever come to an end? Because in my opinion, it's quickly going to. And I've covered a lot of different articles. I actually interviewed someone from my podcast, believe it or not, which is the Silver Stacking Podcast, the first ever podcast for silver stackers. Go subscribe. The first podcast is dropping Friday. We post daily videos throughout the week of segments from the podcast. If you missed something, I really hope to see you there. The first 1,000 subscribers will be eligible and will be entered in a silver giveaway. So go click subscribe, links in the description or the pinned comment. But I was talking to my co-host, Investing with TJ, and he put it very, very interestingly. He said, yes, silver's price is manipulated, but I think it's in terms of shorter time frames. Supply, demand, the dollar interest, the dollar index, interest rates. Those things are going to have a bigger pull. But that isn't to say that the price isn't manipulated. It just is in shorter stints. And that did make a lot of sense. It did. I mean, we're not just talking about spoofing here. Now, what is spoofing, Silver Slayer? Spoofing is when banks like JP Morgan, which is the mascot of this, placing false buy orders on these exchanges and canceling the order before it goes through. Now, the tricky part about this is you're allowed to cancel orders on these exchanges. So how can you catch someone with ill intent to do so? See, they do it to manipulate the other investors on that exchange, basically giving this false impression of the market value. So they can do this to their liking and they can profit dramatically off this, whether they're placing buy orders or sell orders with millions of dollars and then canceling the order before it goes through. So that order is actually non-existent, but the other people on the exchange sees this and then will invest off of that. It's information. JP Morgan, 3 of their employees got sent to prison last year. They've gotten fined $900 million plus. They're backdating 5 decades with JP Morgan. 5 decades. This has been going on for a long time. Not just JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, the Dutch bank. It's pretty scary to think, but obviously wherever there's money and there's central bankers and they can get away with it, they're going to. And it's a lot more than just 3 employees. This is a system, right? That they just scraped the tip of the iceberg with this, with this type of I guess judicial system catching these guys. That there's a lot more banks, a lot more bankers doing this. But now, since people are getting sent to actual prison, maybe they'll second guess their decision making. But it's going to keep going on. I don't think it's going to have as big of an effect once we start to really see the silver demand skyrocket in the next 5-10 years, as we know will happen. So on that note, I wanted to give a little introduction on manipulation, on price rigging, because yes, it might scare people to go into an investment where they know the price is rigged. It can be scary, but I'm here to tell you that it's not to the degree that you might have heard, and it's not going to last much longer when you're investing into something that's solely based off supply and demand. So let's look into this article. I'm going to talk about, some things that they might bring up, and I'll share my 2 cents. And I also do want you to throw in your 2 cents as well. I want this channel to be a conversation. I want everyone to have a platform to share their thoughts as well. And the comment section is where you can do that, right? I mean, if this video gets thousands of views and you post a comment, that's potentially thousands of people that can hear what you have to say. So use that to your advantage. Now, let's jump into this. Link will be in the description as well, along with the Silver Stacking podcast. So silver market participants can be downright passionate when it comes to the topic of price manipulation. What are the key events in theory? So from the Hunt brothers to social media's silver squeeze, the silver price manipulation is long-standing and much discussed feature of the silver market. Now they're talking to the Hunt brothers, which cornered the silver market in 1980, owning up to 77% of the world's silver supply. And yes, I said 77%. How did they do this? Well, from the COMEX. They actually owned most of the silver on the COMEX, and they turned it into physical delivery, so they were going to own most of the silver in the world. Now, do you think the government was going to let that happen? No. They actually banned silver, put a law out saying you couldn't buy silver, you couldn't sell it to anyone you know, you had to sell it to the government. They actually banned silver. See, the Hunt brothers pushed the price of silver up to $50 from that. The government stepped in, passed a law on the spot banning silver, and then the price shot back down to $9. Now, that's a whole separate video. I actually made a docu-series on that entire situation. It was crazy, but that's a form of manipulation, along with Wall Street Silver trying to corner the market as well, doing these silver rates, buying up a massive amount of silver in one day. So let's look at this. Silver price manipulation dates back to 1979 to 1980, when oil baron brothers, the three Hunt brothers, reportedly bought upwards to 35 million ounces of silver worth at least $1 billion. The Hunt brothers were buying both physical and silver futures, and were taking physical delivery on futures, like I just mentioned, instead of settling for cash. Their auctions ultimately sent the white metals price soaring to $50, which is still the highest price to date. However, their scheme ultimately ended in a disaster. In 1980, they missed a margin call, and the silver price plunged to $11 per ounce in an event, Silver Thursday. See, Silver Thursday was the end result. It's actually called Silver Rule 7, where they banned silver, which led to Silver Thursday, when the price on Thursday cut down 50%. Were the Hunt brothers manipulating the market, or were they just facing off against themselves? The question remains, and it's getting new life today. See, I really don't want to go too much into this because I already dug extremely deep. The Hunt brothers, they were deemed evil because the government had to. Imagine this story breaking out and everyone saying, why are these people buying silver? And then they come out and say, well, see, the dollar is collapsing. Silver's a hedge against inflation. No, the government doesn't want everyone to know the truth. So they deemed them as these evil guys, just saying they were doing something highly illegal, when that really wasn't the case. Yes, they could have got away with it, but they did start going into sketchy waters. That's what got them in trouble. But anyways, you can see the Hunt brothers did that. Wall Street Silver did the same thing, but they're deemed the heroes. You see how perception can change things? They were both trying to corner the market, essentially, right? And one side of the fence, these people are deemed evil, and then you have nowadays the Wall Street Silver people looking at heroes. And no, they did not fail. In my opinion, pushing the silver price up to $30 within a couple of days, I mean, that's insane. So anyways, let's keep going. Silver manipulation theory. For at least 4 decades now, gold and silver analysts and investor market participants have debated the validity of allegations cornering or concerning precious metal manipulations with the COMEX futures contracts by a cartel that supposedly includes a group of large banks, most notably JP Morgan, as well as the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve, by maintaining an overly large support or short position in silver futures market. So the theory goes, these banks have at times been able to suppress the price of the white metal in the face of bullish fundamentals. The belief is that the silver price will not rise significantly until these players allow it to do so. And that's basically what this all is. They're not going to let silver get past $50 because they'll do something to stop that. They might be able to now, and that's the whole point of this video, is why in the world is silver's price not a lot higher? If you look at realistically everything happening in the economy with this global situation and interest rates, and you would think that silver should be a lot higher right now. So that's why this manipulation is a good topic to talk about. And that's also why it's a better situation to talk about, because looking forwards, if we're all betting on silver to rise, can it? Will it? When it? When? That's why I asked you those questions at the beginning, and that's also why it's so important to answer them. Now, people always ask Silver Slayer, when do you think silver's price is really going to kick up? Maybe triple digits, let's say. Well, in my opinion, I say 2024 to 2025 is really when silver's true value, its natural price, has some form to show. And I say that because this. See, my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, for a reason. There's such a big silver stacking community, not so much gold on YouTube, for a reason. They're called Wall Street Silver, not Wall Street Gold, for a reason. Check out premiums right now. Go to APMEX or wherever. Look at the premiums on American Eagles or any type of silver, and then go on APMEX and look at the premiums for gold coins on APMEX. There is no premium for gold because gold isn't scarce. It's only silver. There's only crazy high premiums for silver because there's a silver shortage. The US Mint came out claiming there's a silver shortage, not a gold shortage. Because moving forwards and noting that there's a silver shortage, we need a lot more silver as we kick into this new green era with 5G, electric vehicles, solar panels, silver lithium-ion batteries, and as we advance digitally, since silver is used in all technology, we're going to need more and more and more and more silver, but there's less and less and less of it. That's why silver has so much more potential than gold. That itself will not, you can't try to manipulate something to pull the numbers back or the price back from something like that. Silver is the most important thing. If we can't make electric vehicles, if we can't do the Green New Deal and make all these solar panels because we don't have a silver, what does that mean? Yes, the price goes up, but that also means the world's going to burn. Think about it. Think about Joe Biden coming out and saying the Green New Deal has to, get put to a halt or get backdated another decade because we need more silver. Imagine Elon Musk saying that Tesla has to slow down, their production because there's not enough silver. Someday they're going to have to acknowledge it. They already know now, but it's just not public. But just think about it. Silver is the most important thing, literally, to make the world go around, literally. And no type of manipulation on the COMEX is going to stop that. So, let's look at this. This is interesting. So, CFTC investigations into silver price manipulation. So, at the urgent request of independent investors, the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission, which is also known as the CFTC, has commented several times on allegations of silver price manipulation. In most recent investigation, which was confirmed in 2008 and closed in 2013, did not result in any changes. Based upon the law and evidence as they exist at this time, there is not a viable basis to bring an enforcement action with respect to any firm or its employees related to our investigation of silver markets. And that's what the CFTC said in a statement released at the time. However, banks such as JP Morgan have nevertheless been hit with silver price manipulation lawsuits. Amid the CFTC investigation, both JP Morgan and HSBC, which faced two separate lawsuits in October 2010, related the manipulation of silver futures via large short positions. In September 2011, HSBC was dropped from the lawsuit with reports that the plaintiffs and the bank had entered into a tolling agreement. and later on won the dismissal. These are not the only instances of large banks being involved in silver price manipulation lawsuits. In other recent cases, JP Morgan settled a lawsuit over alleged precious metal spoofing, which was what I was talking about, which is, I hope they realize and at least acknowledge how big spoofing is in the silver price manipulation world. But for an undisclosed amount, also agreed to pay $920 million to resolve federal agency probes regarding manipulation of multiple markets, including precious metals, which I was talking about. And Jamie Dimon, the head of JP Morgan, I remember back in 2016, 2017, when I was investing into Bitcoin. Yes, I started very early, but I remember him doing something specifically. And this just shows, JP Morgan's shadiness, corrupt, they're such a corrupt bank. But Jamie Dimon came out, called Bitcoin a scam, right? Bitcoin a scam, came out publicly, shot the price of Bitcoin down thousands of dollars. See, he knew what he was doing. He didn't think Bitcoin was a scam. He did that because he pushed the price of Bitcoin down thousands of dollars and then ended up buying millions upon millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. You know how we got caught? Because the blockchain stores every transaction publicly. That's one of the things that I like about crypto. You can't do anything behind the scenes. The blockchain stores every transaction publicly. You can't hide anything. See, the JP Morgan is a centralized bank. Bitcoin is decentralized, the literal exact opposite. If something was to change on the blockchain, everyone has to vote. There's no system that allows anyone to have more power than anyone else. Everything's public. That's just another example, though. I also remember 3-4 years ago, they got caught with millions of dollars in misprinted gold bars, probably sold or bought on the black market. So anyways, let's keep moving on. So this is our Silver Prices Rig 2011 edition, and then we have a 2021 edition. So I just want to pick out some of the key points in this. So back in 2011, INN asked readers the question, do you believe the silver market's rigged? 66% of respondents answering yes. That's interesting. Very interesting. And at the time, INN shared results with some of the most notable names in the precious metals market, and a few were kind enough to comment. One of these analysts was Jeffrey Christian, managing at CPM Group. I'm sure I've covered a lot of his articles, but Christian has never been shy when it comes to voicing his position on the topic of manipulation. In 2011, he commented, over 90% of the invested in physical silver are not into conspiracy theories. They are not the guns and bunker crowd, for whom silver is not just an investment, it's a religion. A lot of people did come in from the prepper mind state, but a lot of other people did come in as a hedge against inflation, diversifying their portfolio, safe haven. So in 2011, Silver Summit, hosted in Spokane, Washington, featured a debate on whether precious metal prices were rigged. Moderated by BNN's Andrew Bell, the conversation featured Christians, Bill Murphy, chairman, Gold Antitrust Action Committee, or GATA. Murphy pointed to the mountains of evidence of the gold and silver price suppression scheme, which has become blatant, almost beyond comprehension. Wow. Saying that the GATA has gathered information from public domain, including historical documents and the U.S. Federal Reserve's own minutes. For his part, Christian said that all of the GATA's allegations can be refuted and have been directing the audience to CPM Group's website. He also had some harsh words for GATA, which he considered a gigantic distraction. He claimed its allegations are full of internal inconsistencies which simply don't hold up against statistical scrutiny or simple logic. And that's one of the things about this, is since it's not so black and white, there's a lot of just a lot of skepticism, a lot of speculation, and that can get a little messy, as you just read. Now, here are silver prices with the rig, the 2021 edition. So, in response to the silver squeeze excitement on Reddit and other parts of social media in early 2021, INN took to Twitter to ask the question, do you believe the silver market's manipulated? This time around, eye-popping 95.6% responded yes. 95.6% responded yes. And the other 4% that said no, or the 4.4% that said no, were probably people trying to hide that fact. That is insane to think about. But it also is insane to think that people are still investing knowing that they're investing into a rigged market. And that's because the bubble will pop. That's also why I want to ask you all, because you see how numbers are very interesting. Some of the most interesting information in this video was looking at back in the day in 2011, 66% and now 95.6%. So I'm curious if you all do as well. Now, the Hunts looked at silver and said, oh, we think the price is going to rise sharply. And by the way, they didn't invest into gold because it was, you couldn't buy gold at the time. Gold was banned. And they bought a lot of silver, and they bought some silver futures, they bought some silver options. And when they told everyone they were buying, but these guys are just punks, they have the same short thinking process as the guys who stormed the Capitol. And you can see how a lot of people don't like them. Personally, when I dug into this extremely deep, at the core, they understood the dollar, the corrupt financial system, and they were trying to put their money into something that holds its value. Yes, it got a little sketchy with some of their decisions, but I do see that the government deemed them more evil just to protect the truth behind the dollar and silver. So, yeah, I think that's everything that needed to be said out of this article. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like the video if you think silver's price should be a lot higher than it is. A lot of people need to see this video. I hope you're sharing this. I hope you're commenting. I hope you're liking and engaging in the video. Helps it get recommended in front of other silver stackers, because people need to see this stuff, right? I mean, this was a very important video, and you could see why I made it and why I really wanted to talk about it, especially since times are changing and things could be getting a lot different a lot soon. I mean, a lot sooner than people think, right? I always say this situation globally, whether it was going to happen or not, I would still be sitting here talking about silver. But since it did happen, it sped things up times 10. So we have to be on our feet. We got to be ready to adjust. So anyways, yeah, make sure you also check out the Silver Stacking Podcast. First episode drops on Friday, just a couple of days away. Go over, click the bell, go to all so you get notified for every video, because if not, you're going to miss uploads and you might miss the giveaway entry video. You don't want to miss that. Get in now so you will have a chance to win some free silver. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.